All right, what's going on YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? I'm Bubba the Raider. Sorry, I bet you can hear my dog munching away on his dog food right now. I'm in the kitchen. Okay. So, I've digested it. I've thought about it, much like you. I've had to find a way to live with it because it is what it is. I'm not going to stop being a Raider fan because Khalil Mack's not a Raider. And I've really started thinking about what it is. You know, you hear all those rumors like, oh, Gruden worked his way into the Raiders organization again to seek revenge and all of those things. I think that's stupid. I don't think that's what's happening. And it has taken me up until probably about 10 minutes ago to start clearly thinking about it and moving forward. And where I still think it was probably the wrong choice, it makes a lot more sense to me today than it did yesterday to move on from Khalil Mack. And I'll explain why. And what I think needs to happen. Basically, trading Mack, you know, it could eventually equate to about 7 starters. It should equate to 7 starters on this team, whether they're already on this team and we're paying them with a contract extension and not losing them, ergo Amari Cooper, or their draft picks. Because here's how it works. Over the next 2 years, we should accumulate about 7 starters by losing Khalil Mack. Our 2 original first-round picks, the 2 we got from the Bears, and with the cap space we saved for Khalil Mack, I think just this year, I read somewhere it's like $28 million. That should be enough to sign 3 quality players. That should be 7 starters. So from that standpoint, I understand. Gruden said something today in his press conference that made a lot of sense to me, and I had not even thought about. And that was the fact that he didn't even go this in depth about it, but he said he watched Washington go through this with Kirk Cousins. That's his brother's team. He watched his brother go through this with Kirk Cousins, who's not nearly the player Khalil Mack is not going to require nearly the money. I don't think. He might make more now with that extension, but not regarded in the same light as Khalil Mack. It's going to be hard for Gruden to do what he wants to do and what he needs to do, really, and have this looming over his head. You think that we franchise tag Khalil Mack, make him play under the 5th-year option, he holds out till week 10, then comes and begrudgingly plays because of contractual agreement, and then he gets franchise tagged, and then he gets franchise tagged again. You think at the end of all of that, he's really going to want to play for the Raiders? And do you think in that he's going to want to play for the Raiders? Do you think he's going to be a healthy locker room presence? I don't know. I thought I knew exactly what Khalil Mack was. But I watched his press conference today too, and I would never say anything bad. He's my favorite player in the NFL, or was. Now it's for sure Derek. It was like 1A and 1B. But he didn't seem the same. He didn't seem the same that I saw him there. So I don't know. But I was panicking last night. I was upset. I made the video. I was watching everyone's reactions. I was fuming. I was down. And I looked at my bookshelf, and I'm just trying to figure out how to move forward with this. And I look at my bookshelf, and I find this book I got. I got this book maybe 3 years ago, when I was coaching high school football in Apache Junction, Arizona, and they had a box of books. An old coach had retired, and he donated all of his books, and they put them on a table so we could take them. And it's Do You Love Football? John Gruden. That right there tells you how deep my roots with Gruden goes. So you need to take that into consideration while I'm finding ways to defend his actions. But they are starting to make a little bit more sense to me. Doesn't mean I agree with them. But in this first page, I picked it up and I was looking right through it, and it said, I love the competition of the game. I love the players who play it. I love the strategy, the variables. I love the smell of the grass and the sound of the stadium. I love the thrill of victory. I like to see how we respond to the adversity that a loss brings and to a sudden change that we've had to deal with, whether it's a fumble, an interception, a 15-yard penalty, or something worse, like our right tackle suffering a broken ankle. That spoke to me a little bit about this situation here. And I've digested it, I've thought about it. It doesn't mean I like it, but I understand. I understand what he's doing. And Raider Nation, what he's doing is something we're not going to like. Grand scheme, we're not going to like this right away. And here's why. What John Gruden is doing, very clearly to me, and it was kind of clear to me before, but it is very clear now, he is not reloading this team. He is not fluffing this team and taking this team to the Super Bowl. He is rebuilding this team from the ground up. That is why he has been bringing in older players. We've seen it before when we signed players like Maurice Jones-Drew and Justin Tuck when Jack Del Rio rebuilt this team. He's not bringing old players in because the game has passed him up. He's bringing old players in to add a sense of leadership, add some knowledge to the game, and to hold places until we get those key players in, because he doesn't like what we got. He likes Derek Carr, I think. He doesn't have much of a choice. Derek's been signed. He likes Amari Cooper. I know that for a fact because when he said something in his conference about free agents next year who are going to be leaving their rookie deals. That's Amari Cooper. I don't know if there's anyone else on this team from 2015 besides Amari Cooper. Mario Edwards Jr. was released. Clive Walford's gone. I think it's just Amari that he's basically saying they're going to sign Amari. Losing Khalil allows us to do that, whether we think that's right or not. I like Amari Cooper for what he could be, not what he has been. So I genuinely feel like he is trying to build this team his way from the ground up, and I think yesterday proved that. I think he went about it a little odd. I think he went about it in a way that made it seem like he was going to roll with this team that we have, that he inherited, make a couple changes, but it's pretty clear that this is not going to look anything like it does. So, he has cut essentially, I think we had 12 or something draft picks last year, and now there's 3. So, pretty much what's going to happen, I'm going to move to the living room because my wife just got here and I don't want to be interrupted. What's going to happen is that, he's going to cut players. This is going to be a year where he's going to be loaded with some draft picks and some ability to really reload, bring players in. So this is going to be a do or die year for a lot of players on this team if they want to make this roster. Carl Joseph is one of those players. And it might even be too late. Sorry about that. Might even be too late for Carl Joseph. So I really feel like he's trying his best to completely rebuild this team. Not reload it, not fluff it up, but to completely rebuild it. I think in order to do that, I'm going to suggest he does something that I have never thought I'd say, I have not been on this train for 1 second until today. He needs to fire Reggie McKenzie. He can't let this division happen. He even said it in the thing. People are trying to divide us. He can't let this division happen. He can't let the who does what, Reggie's not my guy sort of a thing happen. If he's going to rebuild this team, his neck's on the line, his career, his reputation is on the line. He needs to do that then. So I think he needs to fire Reggie McKenzie. What else? Ardenke's got to be good this year. He's got to be really good this year because, I mean, Bruce Irvin's old. He's not getting any younger, but we could potentially have a high draft pick, whether it's from us or from the Bears, and there's a lot of good edge rushers coming out in next year's draft. He's got a very short window, because he's a third-round draft pick, to prove that he's the guy to replace Khalil Mack. He's got to do it. Carl Joseph has to do it as well. I am going to really, 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 really hammer scouting this year and really be vocal about what I think the Raiders should do in order to make this Khalil Mack trade a win before the next draft. I'm going to watch a lot of guys. I'm going to watch David Montgomery, running back from Iowa State. I'm going to watch, because we're going to need a running back. We're going to need an edge rusher. We're going to need a middle linebacker. We're going to need a lot of things, and that's he mentioned that we have a lot of holes on this team, and in freeing up the space and ending the headache and giving the Khalil Mack the respect of getting the contract that he wasn't going to get with us, because $90 million guaranteed with a $60 million signing bonus is a lot of money, and we wouldn't have been able to do it. He, again, in his press conference, and I'm not just taking what he says with a grain of salt, okay? I know I'm sitting here, and it sounds like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and maybe I am a little bit, but it's not because he said that. It's because it's starting to make a little bit more sense. And what else are we going to do? Like, Khalil Mack's not a Raider. John Gruden is. You want to be a Raider fan? You want to support your team? Support the coach, and let's get on board. Because it's either that or go somewhere else, I guess, or spend your whole time miserable whining about it. Like, let's put some faith in him. You know, he hasn't even coached a game, so we'll see what happens. But I don't have faith that this is going to be a year that even his goal in mind is a Super Bowl. It would be nice. It would be incredible. But I just don't know if that's what he's aiming for. So we'll see. This is a year where we really got to scout the talent, where if players like Markel Lee really want to be the guy, they need to step up and prove that this year. So he's rebuilding. These old guys will be moved out with younger talent coming in, and we'll have room to make moves in free agency and re-sign some of our players like Amari Cooper, like Garyon Conley when the time comes, if he proves to be good. The other thing I want to talk about, and I want to hear what you guys think about this, because I don't know what I think about this, is what precedent it sends the locker room to trade Khalil Mack. Because that's something that, you know, I'm sitting here, let's move on, but that's a real concern. Like, what is the locker room going to look like, and what message is he sending, not to Khalil Mack, but to the players who play for John Gruden? Is he sending them the message that it doesn't matter how much you do and how good you are, if you're not loyal to the Raiders and willing to give the best hometown discount, you're gone, you're going to be traded? That's one way to look at it. Or is he saying, look, if you're unwilling to work with us and you're not going to show up, not one person is bigger than this team, we're going to trade you? I don't know. I don't know what message that's sending. I don't know what this is going to do to our locker room. I guess as long as it doesn't shake Derek Carr, that's the only important thing, really, because that's what we're building on at this point. So, I don't know. Don't love it. Don't necessarily agree with it. But at the end of the day, he's got to rebuild this team, and he's got to build it right. He's got to do it his way. And it's nothing we haven't been through a million times before. And it's nothing, we're used to this. So here's hoping one more time. He's got to do it right. He's got to do it the right way. So let me know what you think, Raider Nation. Like this video if you do. Dislike it if you don't. Comment, subscribe if you haven't. And just swim, baby.